ZDNet's Tiernan Ray is with us here today to talk about a conversation he had with Leonard Kleinrock about how he wants to fix the internet. So Tiernan, to start off with here, I think a good place is to give us a little bit of background on Mr. Kleinrock.
So Karen, I first talked with Leonard Kleinrock a few years ago, and recently he came out of stealth mode with a company of his. And so his people got in touch with me and said, hey, do you want to interview Leonard again exclusive? And I said, great, be great for ZD. Leonard Kleinrock was a doctoral student at MIT way back in 1961, and he wrote these sort of fundamental papers on the mathematics of big communications networks, things like how do you efficiently move data around the telephone network? And that eventually became what was the ARPANET, the original internet. In 1969, this week, October 29th, 1969, his computer sent the first internet data packets from UCLA, where he was a professor. Actually, his teaching assistant sent it, but they had a big ceremony at UCLA this week. He got the key to the city by the mayor of Los Angeles. So this is a guy who's generally regarded as the father of the internet, although in my experience, he's very humble, very modest, and says that's too grandiose. But you could think of him as kind of one of the fathers or one of the founders of the internet.
All right, so Tiernan, what is wrong with the internet and how does he plan to fix it?
So Kleinrock told me he's very, very concerned that the internet used to be a shared, free, democratic, egalitarian, open place, and it's become weighed down by all the things that we hear about: fake news, bullying, social media harassment, and a total lack of control over one's privacy and one's information, i.e. the Cambridge Analytica scandal. So he wants to both bring a way for people to have perhaps more civilized and sane interactions, and also for people to have more control of their own data. So what he's proposing is, there's this thing called blockchain, which is a general ledger where you can verify what's happening in a transaction. And there are these coins like Bitcoin and Ether. He wants to set up a system where a blockchain would validate transactions based on an acquired reputation of individuals on the internet, so that if you, Karen, do all these great videos and people are constantly giving you thumbs up, like, wow, Karen, you can watch her videos and trust her, she's integritous and she does good work, then your reputation goes up and up. And so anytime you engage in any kind of activity, your computer with your account is automatically validating, participating in this blockchain based on your having high reputation. And it would be an incentive system for people to not behave badly, because then their rep could go down. So he thinks, okay, give some people some incentive through a system that's mathematically valid, cryptographically valid on the internet, like blockchain, to behave well and not to behave badly.
Now, and when you first published this story, Tiernan, what type of response did you get?
So people on balance did not like this proposal. A couple of people said, yeah, it'd be nice if you weren't anonymous and you had to be validated, like, who are you when you say things? Most people felt, don't impose more rules on me. You know how to behave as an adult in the real world. You take your chances. It's a free and open internet. Some people are going to be jerks, but you just need to know how to handle yourself and how to be careful in who you respond to. And let's not be, kind of parochial. Let's not be the nanny state and control how people behave. And there were also a bunch of people who cited an episode of the TV show Black Mirror, in which they said there's a reputation system and some people get destroyed. And so the immediate concern was, oh my God, this rep system will be a kind of final thing that could crush you in cyberspace. If everyone decides, Karen, you're awful, and they go after you, you could have the opposite effect, that this system that's supposed to support your great qualities could be used to bully you in some way.
Okay, any final thoughts on this, Tiernan?
It'll be interesting to see what happens when the further details, technical details, come out, because while it's great to draw analogies to Black Mirror episodes, some of this stuff is just the technology of the internet. And if you went back to 1961, when Leonard Kleinrock was working on his PhD thesis at MIT, he was talking about abstruse stuff about how do you move packets of data. I don't think anyone would have said, wow, someday you're going to bring us the internet. They would have said, like, what are you doing? So you got to, like, give the guy a break, see what he has to offer. as always on the internet, people want to like talk more than they want to listen. But sometimes you got to listen.
Indeed, we do need to listen more, Tiernan. We'd love your comments on this story. Make sure you check it out on ZDNet.